Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue our little chat about making your own projects. We're going to kick it off by talking about writing. Now a lot of the focus here is going to be on short films throughout this entire series because that is what I have more experience in. I've never written a full-length film. It sounds way daunting even though I know it's possible and I could do it if I tried. But this is what I have done so far. So that's what we'll be really focusing on. If you want to know more about all the other mediums like writing a TV pilot, writing a feature-length film, writing whatever, I'm sure there's lots and lots of resources out there for you, and I will try to find some of those for you and do like a video or a post about them. But for now, let's just talk about mostly short films. I do want to say that I'm not a writer. Like, I don't call myself a writer. I call myself an actor who happened to have a story to tell that I wrote and shot it, and now it's a short film. That was out of both necessity because I needed more tape of myself, and also because I really did want to tell this story. I felt like other people might be able to relate to it. But you know, this video today is really from the point of view of an actor who wanted to create a short film, and hopefully this advice can be useful to you if you are where I was at. Also, real quick, I mentioned last week that I'm going to be doing a Q&A video, so if you have any questions for me, whether it's about me personally or my career or any other questions you may have that you want answered, go ahead and submit them via either this YouTube channel. You can, write comments or write directly to me, or you can post them on Twitter, write to me on Twitter or on Instagram or my Facebook fan page. Yeah, I think that covers it. All right, guys, let's get started on this video. When you are approaching writing a project, writing a short film, you need to know what the topic is. What are you going to write about? You may have already had an idea tumbling around in your head for a while. For me, that's always the case. There's always something I want to act. There's always something I want to write down. But you may have something that you've been kind of constructing. You may have a notebook where you've been writing notes little by little, or a storyboard that you can, pin index cards to with different characters and different plot lines and stuff like that. If you do have that, there you go. Start working on that. If you have no idea, I will tell you this. Write what you know. Obviously, if you're a more seasoned writer or if you've made a bunch of projects already, you can start branching out and writing all kinds of different crazy stuff, sci-fi, whatever. But for your first project, to make it more manageable for yourself, and so you really understand the tone of what you want to say, and to make it very simple and inexpensive, write something basic that you know, something about your life, or maybe something from your past, or something you're dealing with in the moment, something that you feel like people can relate to. Relatability is incredibly important when you're telling a story, right? So write what you know. Don't try to be all crazy and impressive. Sometimes the most simple stories are the ones that hit audiences the most, and they're the best stories because they're very human. So keep it simple, write what you know. Don't worry too much about this when you first get started out. You can always edit or add on later, but when you're thinking about the length of your script that you're writing, the general rule is about 1 minute per page. So if you have a 10-minute short film, it's going to be somewhere around 10 pages. Of course, it's going to be different if there's voiceover or if there's a ton of action or anything like that, but that's the general rule. So when you are writing a short film, if you're thinking about submitting to festivals, know that shorter is better. So if the specific film festival's time limit for short films is 30 minutes, try to avoid having one that's 20 minutes long. It lessens your chances of getting into the festival because they want to have as many films as they can. The whole thing only lasts about 2 hours. So let's say they pick a bunch of films that are each half an hour long. They can only show 4 of those films, whereas they show a bunch of ones that are like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. They can get a lot more in there, and that's what they want. They want to be able to feature a lot of different films, not just a couple. So shorter is better. As far as what you're writing on, most writers use Final Draft. That's a script writing program. I think it's around $200 to $300. That is what everyone writes scripts on. Sometimes you will receive a script as an actor and it's written in like Word or Pages. I would avoid taking those kind of projects. If you are planning on casting your project and handing the script out to other actors, it really should be in final draft. It looks very unprofessional if it's not. However, if it's only you that's going to be seeing it and you don't have access to final draft and you can't spend the money, write it however you need to. Doesn't need to look like anything special or whatever. If only you and a couple friends are going to be seeing it, they will understand. But if you are going to be giving the script to anyone in the industry, try to make it in final draft. Try to find a friend that you can, type it up on their laptop if they have final draft. And I would bet you that you can find on YouTube lots of tutorials on how to use final draft. It's really user-friendly. It's really simple, but you might as well go and find a video that really tells you exactly how to use it. As far as format goes for a short film, really the possibilities are endless. There's not a whole lot of rules for the exact format of a short film. I believe that it should have at least a beginning, middle, and an end. But aside from that, just tell the story that you want to tell and make sure that it makes sense to people, when it's on screen. It may not make perfect sense when it's on the script, but you know exactly how, you want it to look when you're shooting it. But yeah, make sure the story is just interesting and it has a beginning, middle, and end, and there's not a whole lot of other criteria. I would definitely advise reading up on writing a short film. I will find a couple books and link them down below for you, or try to find a class or a workshop on writing a short film. But yeah, if you're creating your own project for the first time, don't stress too much about making it perfect. I went out to a bookstore and got a bunch of books on writing about like characters and plot line and this and that. Yes, you need to know all that stuff if you're going to be writing a feature-length film, or if you're going to be writing a pilot and you really want this to be like your career. But I found that just kind of writing what was in my head and in my heart and what I wanted to say, the script turned out fine. I just don't think you should put a lot of pressure on yourself to have this be like some, award-winning perfect script when you're making your first short film. When you're done writing your script, whether it's in final draft or Pages or Word, you always need to save it as a PDF. That's how you're going to send it to people. You never want to send it to someone in a format that they can edit, unless it's someone that you're collaborating with and someone who's going to make edits for you and help you out. But usually they just send you notes on a separate thing, so send it as a PDF. You can always keep that original file that you can go back and edit later. I want to warn you about a trap that I have fallen into. When I'm writing, I'll tend to be thinking of the soundtrack as well, because to me, music makes a movie. So when I'm writing, sometimes I'll write in the script what song is on, or I'll already know. Just know that you will probably not be able to get the license to that song unless you have like thousands of dollars to spare. So try not to make your scene rely too heavily on that stuff. You're probably going to be finding music from the YouTube audio library, or from somewhere like that where you can get music for free or for very inexpensive to use for your projects. Because if you're going to be showing this at film festivals and stuff, you really can't use, music that you haven't gotten the license to. You will at some point, hopefully when you're done writing the script, be sending it off to somebody for notes, whether that is a friend who is a writer or just someone else that's working on the project with you. Never jeopardize the integrity of what you want to write, and make sure that you're taking only the notes that are very constructive. Last thing I want to say is just kind of a little note on productivity when you're writing. Writer's block is a real thing. Give yourself deadlines and make sure you're working on it a little bit, at least every other day. Make sure that you're dedicating a little bit of time to just sit there at your computer and reread what you've done so far and try to get a couple pages out. Some days it's more challenging than others. Sometimes that spark is just not there. And that's okay, as long as you do commit the time to just kind of sit down and try, you know what I mean? Make sure to give yourself deadlines so you can get this project done. Otherwise, it's very easy for something to sit on your computer for 2 years. It's happened to your girl. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you today. Like I said, I'm not a writer. This may not have been the most thorough, wonderful, incredible video on writing a short film, but this is what I know and this is what I want to leave you guys with for now. So go ahead and start writing. Just do it. Just do it. Just go sit down at your computer or grab a pad and a pen, go to a cafe or at home, find a quiet place, and just start writing your story. It's like going to the gym. The hardest part is getting there. So get started on your writing and make sure you subscribe to this channel because this is a series on making your own projects, and there's a lot more information to come, such as editing, casting, shooting, submitting to film festivals, all that stuff. I will see you guys on my next video. Enjoy your week. Bye.